Isekai Maou to Shoukan Shoujo no Dorei Majutsu. Here we have another Isekai harem LN adaptation. As is those shared with many similar series of the kind, this is the only Isekai LN adaptation that you should watch. And also, just go for the uncensored version of the anime. That always helps if you love insane amounts of fan service with boobage, eki shots, and whatnot. You can thank me later. Synopsis. When it comes to the fantasy MMORPG cross reverie, none can match the power of the Demon King Diablo. Possessing the game's rarest artifacts and an unrivaled player level, he overpowers all foolish enough to confront him. But despite his fearsome reputation, Diablo's true identity is Takuma Sakamoto, a shut-in gamer devoid of any social skills. Defeating hopeless challengers day by day, Takuma cares about nothing else but his virtual life. That is, until a summoning spell suddenly transports him to another world where he is Diablo's appearance. In this new world resembling his favorite game, Takuma is greeted by the two girls who summoned him, Remgilyu, a petite Pantherian adventurer, and Sharael Greenwood, a busted elf summoner. They perform an enslavement ritual in an attempt to subjugate him, but the spell backfires and causes them to become his slaves instead. With the situation now becoming more awkward than ever, Takuma decides to accompany the girls in finding a way to unbind their contract, while learning to adapt to his new existence as the menacing Demon King. Story. Here we go again, yet another. Transported into another world. More like self-inserted fantasy series of some random dude who managed to beat the game, know its innards, specs and whatnot, and then suddenly finding himself in the actual game. With a bunch of girls that are reverse magical slaved and self-locked into our MC with boob touches and physics, follow the Demon King Diablo on his every step of the way, going towns, encountering allies and enemies, showing off his OP skills and tactics, every so often while finding a solution to rid those chains. And who doesn't want to watch a perverted MC have his subconscious way with hit and miss intentions of the harem? The only difference in Isekai Maou, there's actual progressive story and subversion plot points that are oh so predictable yet satisfying to watch. It's like you're watching an actual playthrough of the game itself. You probably thought that the usual Isekai cliché tropes will work against it, but nope. With decent execution and the overtime boringness that sets in, your tastes vary. I'm not gonna judge. At least it manages to keep the investment level of the series high like the almighty, and best of all, it doesn't feel cringe-worthy whatsoever, even with the forced humor. Characters. For a cheap knockoff of the most OP character, reference to a certain death march, Sakamoto Takuma aka Summoning Master and Demon King Diablo is both a visual treat and a sight to behold. Other than his OP skills which have the wow factor, at least he has the audacity to act with the sensitivity and righteousness behavior while playing the Demon King act. And for that, he gets a thumbs up for not being the fill-in-the-blank AF character like so many other mediocre series do with the archetype. Anyone who has been burnt out with Diablo's character will appreciate that he stands out in the most fitting way possible. On to the girls then. Shara the elf with giant boobs. What more could you want with her every movement with oh so jiggly boobs that always make Diablo cringe at the thought of it? More or less, all the subversive moments of squeezing boobs just makes it more worthwhile to watch this far. None. Rem the flat-chested Nico. As if someone with large boobs isn't enough, how about one with a flat chest, but also smooth to the touch? That makes you want to cringe so hard? Not to mention, her lolicon look and the catfest ears just made it so that she could orgasm at the sight of sucking and caressing her gentle ears with hot blemishes. Clem, the true demon lord of cross reverie, looks menacing at first glance, but here comes another lowly girl with a love of biscuits, or most likely any satiating food. Haha, kinda liked her character for the most part, even with the eventual full power release. The other characters are reminiscent of the vibes that are founded by the ironic SAO-ish quirks. Alicia, Working for the Imperial Army, she comes off as being an aloof female warrior. At first, her attempts of working with Diablo, Shera, and Rem come across as just another insert yourself into the harem cliché, but once the true Demon King is unleashed, her ignorance is bliss attitude starts showing with intensity. So much so that even the OP scenes outline this if you looked hard enough. Kira, the evil brother of Shera, the S&M specialist. No words can describe him, as per to a certain mad scientist on the other side. He is truly despicable to the point of no return. All I wanted for family is you. Yeah, right. You degenerate piece of shit. Every trope here clearly exemplifies the conglomeracy of it all, with this one character. Art and animation. Ajiadu Animation Works is an obscure studio that has a long history like veterans Toei Animation or Sunrise. But their repertoire of works are subpar, with the only well-received series being Pierrot's follow-up of Emma Season 2, and that was back in 2007. So if you're an anime studio nut like myself, think of this obscure studio as the equivalent of Pierrot in terms of animation quality, just mildly better. However, with Isekai Maou, there is the Ajiadu trait of limited animation quality, especially with noticeable long-distance/range backgrounds. But it is vastly improved and the 2D artwork doesn't disappoint. Along with the action sequences, it doesn't give off the feel that the producers cheaped out on both the art and animation. To quote an example, check out the catchy OP sequence where Shera's giant knockers boob slap each other for an insane 2-second cut near the chorus part. Now that is attention to detail. Overall, good art and animation, and props to the production staff. Music. The OST is one of the tolerable ones this season. An all-star female VA casting for the OP, and Yu Serizawa with the help of Honeyworks Chico for the ED. Just knowing that the veteran CUs all sound so good, you can't help but to be immersed in the OST. From the battle scenes that are full or intensity to the action that keeps pumping non-stop. Honestly, I enjoyed myself with all that is to offer here. Overall, Isekai Maou is a series that at least does the trifactor, Isekai, Ellen Harem, Eki, genres some justice, and with the original source material comes criticisms that many people will pass off as some unnecessary filler. But to be quite honest, while I don't love this anime, the enjoyment factor is really where it's at to see these characters mingle with a story that's so stupid, it's entertaining much. To the haters, at least give this a second chance or something, I promise you. It's not as taxing as many mediocre Isekai series out there. Thank you for subscribing to the channel and liking the video.